Why did the Scarecrow win an award in 2023? Because he was outstanding in his field. Similarly, our year was brimming with hysterical global incidents that were nothing short of outstanding. Welcome to our hilarious recap of 2023, a front row seat to the year's worldwide comedy extravaganza. We laughed, we cried, and occasionally questioned our sobriety. We kicked off the year with the laugh out loud moment when world leaders botched their New Year's resolutions epic fashion. Then came the Valentine's Day diplomatic debacle, which sparked more laughter than a stand-up comedy show. The summer brought us unforgettable vacation trip-ups, from awkward sunburn patterns to beach volleyball face plants that had us chuckling into our cocktails. And who could forget the holiday season madness that unfolded right before our eyes? From Santa getting stuck in the chimney at the White House to the New Year's Eve fireworks at the Eiffel Tower that spelled out, "Oops." Yes, 2023 was a year to remember, a year that reminded us all to take life with a grain of salt, a slice of lime, and a shot of tequila. So, fasten your seatbelts and brace yourself for an intoxicating journey through the funniest moments of 2023. Do you recall when we all made a pact to frequent the gym more often? That promise lasted about as long as political scandal. The New Year's resolutions of 2023. The time when we all donned our beer goggles and believed we could evolve into fitness freaks faster than a politician could deny a bribe. The gyms were bubbling over with hope and optimism, each person strutting around in their newly minted workout gear, looking more decorated than a FIFA World Cup winner's medal. The treadmills were put through more work than a White House press secretary, and the weights were lifted with the same gusto as a tax increase. And let's not forget the sudden surge of health gurus who were as eager to share their wisdom as a world leader at a UN summit. Then reality crashed the party like an unexpected email leak. The aching muscles, the pre-dawn alarms, the ravenous appetite post-workout. We all snapped back to reality, realizing the road to fitness was as tricky as navigating international politics. The gym started to resemble a medieval torture chamber, or perhaps a congressional hearing. The health gurus lost their mystique, their advice fading into the background like the murmurs of a disgraced political advisor. And how can we overlook the comical trials at healthy eating? The kale smoothies that tasted like a UN luncheon, the chia seed puddings that looked like a caviar mishap at a state dinner, the cauliflower pizzas that, well, let's just say they were as appealing as a Brexit negotiation. But it wasn't all disaster and chaos like a G7 summit. There were those who held firm to their resolutions, and to them we raise our glasses. These were our beacons of hope, showing that transformation was possible, even if it was as slow as a climate change agreement. They reminded us that it wasn't about the destination, but the journey, and they certainly gave us plenty of laugh-out-loud moments, like their overzealous burpees, or their "I just outran a paparazzi" selfies. So the six-pack abs turned out to be as elusive as world peace, eh? But let's saunter on to the next uproarious chapter of 2023. And so arrived February, the month of love. Or should we label it the month of humor? Picture the scene. The UN Assembly, full of dignified representatives, suddenly disrupted by a mischievous translator. One representative, given the floor, found his powerful speech on climate change hilariously mistranslated into a narrative about his love for cooking. The assembly was in stitches. Now, let's not overlook the absurdity of a renowned tech summit. Techie Tom and coder Clara, if you will, planned to unveil their revolutionary invention. Tom, in a hilarious miscalculation, presented Clara a prototype of a smart toilet, thinking it was a symbol of their shared passion for practical tech. Clara, on the other hand, had prepared a groundbreaking VR system. Imagine the uproar when Clara unwrapped a lavatory, and Tom's shock as he was virtually transported to a romantic Parisian cafe instead of a tech lab. Then there were amusing diplomatic faux pas. One ambassador, believe it or not, brought his pet parrot to a peace treaty signing. Yes, you heard right, a parrot that, quite fittingly, kept squawking, "Awkward, awkward." Thus, the month of love morphed into a global comedy show, with even the sternest of world leaders struggling to suppress their laughter. It appears that love doesn't just make the world go round, it also injects a healthy dose of humor into our serious adult lives. As the saying goes, love makes the world go round, or in this instance, burst into bouts of uncontrollable laughter. 2023 finally arrived, and with it, the promise of a summer brimming with laughter and absurdity. The heat wasn't the only thing setting our world on fire. Now let's skim over the hilarious global blunders of this summer that left us all clutching our stomachs in fits of laughter. The United Nations Summit, typically a place of diplomacy and resolution, but this year, it was a stage for unanticipated comedy. Imagine this. At a heated debate, a mischievous air conditioner decided to spray a sudden burst of cold air, sending a flurry of papers flying around the room, creating a scene straight out of a political satire. And speaking of blunders, who could overlook the Glastonbury Festival? That year, a headlining band decided to make their performance unforgettable by parading around on stage in inflatable dinosaur suits. Little did they know, maneuvering on stage isn't as simple as it seems when you're encased in a T-Rex outfit. After a series of comical missteps and falls, they ended up creating a spectacular display of prehistoric slapstick comedy. And then there was the World Cup. A confident goalkeeper, ready to block an incoming penalty, ended up slipping on a banana peel, a prank orchestrated by the rival team's mischievous mascot. It was a scene straight out of a comedy sketch, one that left the spectators in splits. And let's not forget the infamous Oscars wardrobe malfunction. A renowned actress, striding confidently down the red carpet, had her dress ripped off by an overly excited fan dog, leaving her in her designer underwear. It was an unexpected twist straight out of a risque rom-com. And finally, there was the notorious online challenge that went viral, Sunburn Challenge. Despite countless warnings against intentional sunburns, countless individuals took up the dare, resulting in a parade of humans resembling cooked lobsters. It was a summer look that had dermatologists around the world face-palming in disbelief. 2023, who knew it would turn into such a comedy show? But hold on to your hats, there's more to come. As the year whirled its way to a close, we all eagerly anticipated the holiday season. And goodness, did it live up to the laughs globally? The holiday season of 2023 went beyond all borders, becoming an international comedy treasure trove. Envision this scenario. Uncle Bob, in his blatant Christmas sweater, attempting his first foray into vegan cuisine. The outcome? A tofu turkey that resembled a frisbee more than a festive feast. And considering his history with directions, it was a miracle he didn't end up with a vegan pizza instead. Hats off to his culinary courage though. Globally, the political scene also added to the humor. Take, for example, the G7 summit, where, due to a miscommunication, every leader turned up wearing the same ill-fitted Christmas jumper. A visual feast of political fashion faux pas. Then came the infamous office parties, the ones where everyone attempts to let their hair down but ends up dropping a few too many personal bombshells. Like Janet from accounting who, following a few robust eggnogs, decided to unveil her interpretive dance skills to the whole office. Her stapler transformed into an exotic dance prop, unintentionally shredding confidential documents mid-performance. Who needs shredders when you have Janet the Destroyer? And remember those amusing gift exchange bloopers? Aunt Lucy thought she was setting a trend with her homemade kombucha kit, oblivious to the fact that half the family had jumped on the fermented foods bandwagon 2 years ago. Her reaction when she found out was as fizzy as her kombucha. Then there were the bizarre moments on the international stage. The UN Secret Santa went awry when the Secretary General unwrapped a glitter bomb, a hilarious prank intended for the intern who was obsessed with all things shiny. And let's not sidestep the epic snowball fights, the overzealous carolers, and the notorious Turkey on the Loose episode. Not to mention the New Year's Eve countdown chaos when, instead of the scheduled fireworks spectacle, the neighborhood was treated to a confetti blizzard thanks to a mix-up with party poppers. Talk about ringing the new year in with a bang, or should we say pop? Yes, the holiday season of 2023 was a riotous ride, laughter-filled and bursting with memories that will keep us grinning throughout the new year. And with that, we conclude our comedy tour of 2023. But remember, laughter is the best medicine, so keep those grins going. And so, my dear viewers, we conclude our romp through the humoristic happenings of 2023. Let's take a step back and relive the chuckle-worthy moments of this past year. Remember when we all optimistically set those lofty New Year's resolutions? They vanished quicker than the British Prime Minister's credibility, didn't they? Gave us all a good belly laugh nonetheless. Then came the Valentine's debacle that saw the French president mistakenly send flowers to Angela Merkel instead of his wife. Love was certainly in the air, along with a healthy dose of confusion and pandemonium. The blunders, the mix-ups, the unforeseen surprises, it all simmered into the deliciously hilarious broth that was 2023. And who could possibly forget the summer vacation mishaps? The UN Secretary-General losing his trousers while parasailing, for instance. Each misstep was a step towards a roaring laughter. As the year drew to a close, the holiday season served its unique brand of hilarity. World leaders in ugly sweaters, cooking disasters at state dinners, the Canadian Prime Minister's gift-wrapping fiasco. Every moment was an uproarious jolt to our funny bones, a reminder that a good chortle is indeed the best remedy. So here's to 2023, the year that had us in stitches like never before. And remember, no matter what 2024 brings, keep your witty charm at the ready.